Hey book besties, welcome to my May TBR. Today we're going to be using, of course, my TBR jar full of reading prompts to pick out the books that I will hopefully be reading in the month of May. I'm going to do the same thing that I did in April and actually pick out 5 books. Normally I pick out 10, but that is so just not achievable at the moment. So I feel like 5 is a reasonable amount. So I'm going to pick out 5 reading prompts and match them to the books on my physical TBR. Am I going to stick with my TBR is a question? We have no idea, but I guess we'll find out when I film my May reading wrap up at the end of May. But with that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's just jump right into it. All right, this is going to be our first reading prompt. A small town romance. Okay, I have a few small town romances on my TBR because I love small town romances. I don't know what it is, but I love it so much. I'm thinking maybe Things We Never Got Over. I don't have Things We Never Got Over physically here with me at the moment though. Otherwise, I kind of want to reread The Simple Wild, which I feel like May seems like a good month to reread The Simple Wild because The Simple Wild gives off like autumn winter vibes and it's autumn here in Australia, so I'm not sure. You know what? I'm going to choose a book that I want to reread that is a small town setting. And that is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I read this book last year and it was my favorite book of 2022. It is one of my all-time favorite romance books in general, and I've been wanting to reread this because I want to go ahead and annotate this book. So I feel like maybe this prompt is perfect for that if I don't get the reread prompt from my jar. I love this book. This is set in a small town in Alaska. It's a grumpy sunshine romance. We follow this girl named Kala who lives in Canada with her mum, and she hasn't seen her dad since she was like 2 years old, and then she finds out that her dad has cancer, and then she kind of flies out to Alaska, to this small town that he works at, to kind of like rekindle their relationship. And also along the way she meets like this grumpy pilot and they do not get along at the start, and it's a slow burn small town romance and it's so good. It's one of the romance books that still lives rent-free in my brain. I love it so much. So I'm really interested to see if I love it as much as I did the first time that I read it. If I do a reread, hopefully, I feel like I will because I rave about this book so many times. So I'm really excited to do a reread and I cannot wait to annotate this book as well. Our second prompt is a book with a character's name in the title. For this prompt I've chosen Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. This was actually on my April TBR that I just never got around to reading. So hopefully May will be the month that I actually read this book. I'm not going to go into too much detail. It basically follows this house flipping sensation and YouTube star named Maggie, and she goes to this little small town to do her next project, and then she meets this guy who's this carpenter, but you know, she doesn't really want to get into a serious relationship or anything because she's very career focused. But then she falls in love with this small town that she's doing this project on, and yeah, that's pretty much a quick summary of this book. I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy it because I love any books that kind of talks about home renovations, plus the main character is literally a content creator, so I feel like I would love that side of things too. And there's a dog on the cover. Like, that is a green flag in a book if it's cartoon cover plus there's a dog on the cover. So our third prompt is a book that is a Disney retelling or reimagining. Okay, I do have a book for this prompt, thankfully. So this is Go the Distance. This is by Jen Kalanita. This is part of the Twisted Tale series. I don't think there is a reading order for this book series. I hope not because I only have this book. I think it's just an interconnected series, so you don't have to read them in order. But this is a Disney reimagining. So this is basically like what if Meg had to become a Greek goddess. So Hercules has regained his godship, but Zeus tells Meg that she can't be with the hero because she's, well, mortal. Luckily, Hera has a solution that would see Meg join Hercules on Mount Olympus as a goddess. The quest to rescue Meg's ex-boyfriend's wife from the underworld, the same ex who had left her while she was trapped by Hades. Can Meg defeat monsters and gods alike and finally put her past behind her? Or will her fear of commitment have her running away from an eternity of goddesshood with Hercules. I don't know, I've heard a lot of good things about the Twisted Tale books, and I love things that are like, what if this happened instead of this in the original like books and movies and stuff. So hopefully I will like this. This is the only book that I have that will be able to match this reading prompt as well. So yes, let's see. So our fourth reading prompt: a book by an author that you've never read before. I love this reading prompt because there are so many books on my physical TBR from authors that I haven't read before. So some options that I have: I really want to read a Lauren Asher book because I've heard a lot of good things about Lauren Asher. I haven't read her books before. So I've got the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I have the first book in the Dirty Air series, so that's an option. I also have June 1st by, oh actually no, I don't want to read June 1st because I want to read that in June. Oh, I could start my first ever Mariam as a part book. That's also another option. I'm kind of leaning more towards Lauren Asher though, because I have just heard so many good things, and now that the third book in the Dreamland Billionaire series is out, I can actually like binge read the Dreamland Billionaire series. So maybe, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lauren Asher book. Since I have never read a Lauren Asher book, I'm gonna start with the Dreamland Billionaire series. So the first book in that series is The Fine Print. I am so excited. I feel like I've had this book on my shelf for so long, and I just have been saying I'm not going to read it until the third book comes out. Third book's been out since like January and I still haven't even started this series. But this is a billionaire romance. I've heard that this first book, it's set in this like theme park, amusement park situation, and everyone compares it to like Disneyland. It's like the adult version of Disney, and I was like, okay, that already has me hooked because I love Disney. I love Disneyland. So this is in dual POV. It's Grumpy Sunshine, it's boss employee, so workplace romance. This series follows three brothers, and they all have a task that they need to do in order to receive their inheritance. And Rowan's task, I think, is to renovate Dreamland, which is like basically adult Disneyland. And he hires Zara to help with this project, but obviously they end up falling in love. But it's like very Grumpy Sunshine. I'm not sure if it's enemies to lovers, possibly could be, but definitely forbidden romance as well, because you know, it's boss employee. I'm so excited because it's also in dual POV, and like look at the chapters, it's so pretty. And the book also comes with a playlist, which we love. I love when books do that. It's just so good. And we're up to officially our last reading prompt. Our last prompt is going to be a book written by two authors. Okay, this one's easy. I want to do Christina Lauren, and I want to do Something Wilder by Christina Lauren because I've been wanting to read this book for a while, and I want to do that this month. That was a really quick pick, but I'm gonna go with Something Wilder by Christina Lauren because it's written by Christina and Lauren, so two authors. I really wanted to read this during the summertime, but I did not pick it up on my TBR jar. I don't really know too much about this, to be honest. I think there's like some treasure hunt thing involved. Lily has never forgotten the man that got away, but she certainly hasn't forgiven him either. As the daughter of a notorious treasure hunter, Lily makes ends meet using her father's coveted hand-drawn maps, guiding tourists on fake treasure hunts through the canyons of Utah. When the man she once loved walks back into her life, Lily can't believe her eyes. Frankly, she'd like to take him out into the wilderness and leave him there. Leo wants nothing more than to reconnect with his first and only love. Unfortunately, Lily is all business. It's never gonna happen. But when the trip goes horribly and hilariously wrong, the group wonders if maybe the legend of the hidden treasure wasn't a gimmick after all. Alone under the stars, Leo and Lily must decide whether they'll risk their lives and their hearts on the adventure of a lifetime. This sounds like so much fun. So it's a second chance romance, but like there's a treasure hunt thing involved. Like the setting sounds really, really cool, like very adventurous vibes, giving me travel vibes. I really want to read this month, but I'm also traveling in July. Do I want to save this in July or not, because it's got travel vibes? I don't know, but I'm gonna go with this book at the moment and add it to my TBR, but I don't know if I want to read it in May or if I want to save it in July. But I'm just gonna add it to my TBR anyway. All right, so that is the 5 books that I will hopefully, keyword hopefully, read in the month of May. So let's do a quick recap of the prompts and what books we have got. So for a book written by 2 authors, we have gone with Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. For a book by an author that I've never read before, I've gone with The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. For a Disney retelling or reimagining, I've gone with Go the Distance by Jen Kalanita. For a book with a character character's name in the title, I've gone with Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. And for a small town romance, I have chosen The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, which will also be, if I read it in May, the first book that I have reread in 2023. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed picking out my May TBR with me. Let's see if we stick to it, how many books I actually read in the month of May. But give this video a huge thumbs up if you guys did enjoy watching, and subscribe to my channel down below. I post new videos every single week. My April reading wrap up will be up very soon, so keep an eye out for that. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!